Here we are for basic skill 2, categorical bar charts. If you watched the lynda.com basic pivot table video that I recommended, they recommend that you actually start with an Excel data table instead of just data in an Excel worksheet. I will do it both ways, this one just to show you, but from this point forward, I will always start with the data tables. So, a categorical bar chart. We're going to go with the country of the winner of the Tour de France and make a bar chart. So we want to see, since the categories in our bar chart, what are the possible categorical outcomes, how many times each one occurred. Then we want to make a bar chart out of it, and we want to be able to change those frequencies into relative frequencies, percent frequencies. So you start with a pivot table. You click anywhere in your table, go to Insert, Pivot Table. It selects that entire table. It usually recommends to put your pivot table report in a new worksheet. I'm going to do that. You don't have to. Could put it somewhere in the current worksheet. I almost always go into a new worksheet. So we wanted to know the country of the winner, so we drag down the country, so there they are. Those are the only countries that have ever had a rider win the Tour de France. Well, how many times does each occur? Since this is a categorical variable, I'm going to drag it over into the sum values area, and it counts it. Just to show contrast, had I drug age, for example, over here, it would have summed it instead of counting it. And you can do all kinds of statistics if this is a number. Right now, we're not worried about that, but you can do them. So I'm going to just drag the category in, country. We see that they're in alphabetical order. France has won the most Tour de France's. That makes sense. The U.S. has won a lot. Italy's won a lot. Spain, Belgium. Of course, a lot of those were one rider. So you can leave them in alphabetical order, or you could do a Pareto ordering. Largest to smallest. If there's some reason that, in fact, alphabetical doesn't have much use, I'm going to leave it in Pareto ordering. Just I like it better. There's your table. If you want relative frequencies, over here you can go into the field settings and say show this as a percent of the column total. You might want to format it. 2 decimal places is probably more than I need. I might not even need 1, but I'll do that for now. So since there are almost 100 winners, it actually is pretty close to the absolute counts in this case. I'm going to leave it as relative for now. There are reasons sometimes to want an absolute count versus relative. Well, that's the table. You get a bar chart, you got to start with the frequency table. Yes, there are count-if functions in Excel that would do this, but for our purposes, I think a pivot table is the best approach. But how do I get a chart out of this? Go back to Insert, go over to Column Chart, and it automatically makes a chart off of that table. Since we only have a single series, there's no reason to keep the legend. You really need a better title. These tools can be removed. There are different ways to get them off if you want to. Or you can leave them there because they are often used for sorting purposes. And it's showing, again, these numbers. It's showing the relative frequencies. Because this is a categorical bar chart, you want space between the bars to show these are distinct categories without overlaps. If you don't like the colors, you can change to whatever color you want. If you have a particular reason, you can even change a single color if you want to highlight one for whatever reason. Well, that is an ugly highlight color. So if I'm going to do that, let me, highlight it with a better color there. And that's it. That's a categorical bar chart. Once you have the table, of course, you can do different things. We could look at the birth month instead of the country, which is interesting because we think of all 12 months for birth being about the same. It automatically puts them in month order, which is kind of nice. It's still counting because country was categorical. I don't need to change that. And they really aren't quite as uniform as you would expect. The title, obviously, is no longer wrong. Much of Tour de France winners. So that's basic skill 2, categorical bar charts.